This is about speaking up with care, calling out behaviour that hurts without hurting back. So that really means without shaming and without escalating. There's a quiet art to calling out behaviour without tipping into heat or shame. It begins with remembering that the moment you feel fiery, something in the present has touched something from your past. Your reaction has been shaped by old history. When we speak from that place, we often escalate rather than illuminate. The real skill lies in pausing, settling your body, and addressing what happened with steadiness and clarity. I'd include here breathing out. I've been seeing some examples of this in a programme I'm enjoying on Channel 4. It's Married at First Sight, which I've got completely besotted with, if you like. And I'm talking about the Australia version, Married at First Sight Australia, Season 6, Episode 25. You might want to watch it. One of the therapists, John Aitken, calls out one of the women on the show with striking steadiness. Watch it from 21 minutes in, and you'll see him name the behaviour without shaming and not much heat. By contrast, in Married at First Sight in the UK series, Season 10, Episode 8, the therapist Paul Carrick-Brunson has a stronger reaction. If you watch at the beginning from just 21 seconds to 39 seconds, you'll see a small example of the behaviour that he's addressing. And then watch it from about 40 minutes in, and you'll notice that there's much more heat in his intervention than there was in John's. Both times it's delivered well, but, as I say, it would have been better if Paul had been more dispassionate. It just reveals how personal this terrain can become for the person giving feedback. Imagine a partner who regularly makes small promises and then forgets to follow through. You notice a familiar tightening in your stomach, a mixture of disappointment and concern, and rather than saying something like, "You never do what you say you will," which invites defensiveness, you take a moment to ground yourself, to feel your feet, to breathe, and then you say, when an agreement slips, my trust wobbles a little, and I feel less settled in us. And I'd like us to look at how we can keep our commitments more reliably. The focus in the second one stays on the emotional effect rather than blaming the other one's character. You're naming the reality without shaming the person. Or consider the client who repeatedly arrives 10 minutes late. Rather than scolding, you might say, "I notice there's a pattern of arriving after the session start time. When that happens, it affects the depth that we can go to, and I feel concerned for the work. What do you notice in yourself around timing?" This opens a door rather than closing one, and invites reflection. It treats the behaviour as information rather than proof of wrongdoing. The aim here is to stay connected to yourself while staying connected to the other. When you can name what happened without heat and without humiliating the other person, something remarkable happens. The other person feels met rather than criticised. Defence softens, curiosity grows, and the truth becomes speakable. I know this because I've been on the receiving end of feedback that I found challenging, but which was really well delivered. Calling out behaviour with care is not weakness, it's a strength grounded in self-knowledge. It shows that you can hold boundaries while feeling compassion, and that combination can change the emotional climate of any relationship. I love hearing about these talks and how they land with you. So if one of them has a particular impact, do let me know. https://bit.ly/Juliet Muses. JulietMuses. Take care, go well, thank you, bye.